The Fabled Life of Æsop by Ian Lendler. Illustrated by Pamela Zagorensky. One day, a slave was born. It was sometime around 2,500 years ago, and somewhere near Greece. No one knows for sure because the baby's parents were slaves too. No one recorded the history of slaves, so no one knows their names. The only thing we know is the name they gave their baby boy, Æsop. Æsop was taken from his parents and sent to work in the grape fields of Samos, a hot, dry island in the Mediterranean Sea. Growing up, Æsop learned to speak differently from people who were free. Slaves had to be careful what they said. One day, out in the field, a slave said to Æsop, "I heard the master has smelly feet." But the master overheard. That person was never seen again. So slaves learned to tell stories in ways that wouldn't get them in trouble. They spoke about the animals and the natural world around them. The next day in the field, the person working next to Æsop said, "Did you hear the story about the lion? He stepped on a thorn and his paw got infected." "Oh," said Æsop, "so that's why his paw smells." Æsop learned to speak in code. Everyone soon noticed there was something special about Æsop. One day the water in the well dropped so low that the bucket couldn't reach. No one knew what to do, but Æsop had an idea. Everyone thought it was so clever that they all pitched in to help. The water began to rise, and when it reached the top, their cheers drew the attention of his master, Xanthus. Xanthus decided to test Æsop. He said, "You are clever enough to help slaves, but are you clever enough to help me?" Æsop hesitated. He was scared. He had to find a way to tell the truth without angering his master. He had to speak in code. Æsop said, "One day, a mouse accidentally stepped on a sleeping lion. The lion woke and grabbed the mouse. 'Let me go,' begged the mouse. 'Someday I'll repay you.' The lion laughed at the idea of a puny mouse helping him, but he let the mouse go. The next day, the lion got trapped in a hunter's net. He roared helplessly. The mouse came running. He gnawed at the net until it broke. The lion was free. 'You see,' said the mouse, 'even a mouse can help a mighty lion.'" When Æsop finished his story, Xanthus laughed and said, "Very clever indeed. Come work in my house, little mouse. You can chew on any nets that trap me." Xanthus put Æsop to work running his business. One day, Xanthus and another master named Jaden had an argument over money. To settle it, they summoned Æsop and ordered him to judge who was right. Again, Æsop hesitated. Whichever master he chose, the other would be angry. Either one could have him killed. He had to keep both masters happy. He thought, and then he said, "One very hot day, a lion and a boar found a small watering hole. They argued over who should drink first. They began to fight. As they fought, they noticed that vultures were gathering, waiting to eat the body of the loser. The lion and the boar stopped fighting immediately and shared the water. The vultures went hungry that day." "So it's better to make peace with your friends," said Jaden, "than be eaten by your enemies." The two masters agreed that Æsop's advice was very wise. They settled their argument peacefully. Jaden was so impressed that he asked to buy Æsop. You see, no matter how clever or kind Æsop was, he was still just a slave, and slaves were something to be bought and sold. Xanthus agreed, and once again Æsop was taken away. In his new home, Æsop went to work. For every problem his new master faced, Æsop created a story about sly foxes, foolish farmers, or clever mice. The stories warned against greed and deceit. They taught the value of working hard and being honest, humble, and kind. Many of them taught another hidden lesson as well. It was something no master would pick up on, but every slave or powerless person would understand. They taught them how to survive in a world that was sometimes unjust and cruel. Till next time.